Hello guys, welcome back to my world of fragrance. It's been a while since I've done a video where I focus on one brand or where I do first impressions, so I thought that since I was about to try the Milano Fragranze fragrances, somebody out there might find this useful. So I'm going to go ahead and record my first impressions of the Milano Fragranze perfumes. So I have the Milano Fragranze sample set. It looks like this. Came with this blue ribbon, and I was lucky to get this sent from my friend Marcus. Thank you so much, Marcus. I have a few friends that I circulate samples with, and so that's a really amazing thing to have. If you have other freakhead friends, it's definitely something that you should do. And so this is how they come. This is a brand that was created by Alessandro Brun, I think his name is, from Masque Milano. The Masque Milano fragrances look like this in the 30 ml form, and I talk about this brand all the time. So I thought that it would be cool for me to show you what I think about this new brand. It's supposed to be a sister brand, but still detached from Masque Milano. So as far as I've understood, these are more commercial fragrances, a little bit more crowd pleasing. The Masque Milanos can be a little bit out there. They have, you know, animalics and incense and things that the general crowd doesn't usually gravitate towards. So I feel like this is more of a commercial option by the makers of Masque Milano. So I have a little thingamajig, a little brochure here. I'm going to try them on blotters because I don't really feel like trying these on skin. There are so many and I want to just get through them. Okay, so I'm actually quite shocked at how many there are. There are actually 8 fragrances in the line. So let's try them and see. I'm going to start out with Derby. This is the first one that I can see here. Derby. So if I didn't mention this already, this brand was released in 2020. So in the midst of the pandemic, they decided to release their brand. And it seems like it's going pretty well. I've seen it pop up here and there on different channels and on Instagram, but of course I've refrained from getting other people's opinions. So, okay, this is very galbanum-y, bitey to begin with. If you're familiar with Chanel No. 19, it has that very crisp green beginning to it. So far this is still a really green, bitter, floral, maybe in the fresh realm, like one of those fans of Chanel No. 19 classic green florals would love. So I'll put that down for a bit. Next we have Brera, which is, I know this because I lived in Milan for a few years. It is a neighborhood in Milan, an artsy type of neighborhood. So I'm thinking this one will probably be more bold. Ooh, rose and saffron. The saffron is really prominent, and I love saffron. I love rose. So rose and saffron sounds good to me. I love green as well, but you know, I compare to the register I have in my head, and that other green just did not surpass number 19. So okay, it's getting sweeter. The rose is developing. It's opening. It's met with some sugariness. Yeah, rose and saffron for me for the moment. Now we have La Prima, meaning the first. So this could be the first ballerina, the prima ballerina. Wondering what their interpretation of it is, but La Prima, the first. Confident and sure of themselves is what I'm thinking. Okay, this is soft, sweet florals. Very much that feminine protagonist. This is the main character. It's giving me main character energy. It's got some medicinal quality to it as well. It's like boozy cardamom-y combined with these sweet florals. So think osmanthus at the center and then sweetened by other florals around the edges. Cortile is the next one. Ooh, jasmine. Oh, these are, so Cortile means courtyard. So this could be a jasmine bush that's growing in a courtyard in Milan. So what I'm thinking is this is showing different sides of Milan, right? Derby, don't know what area that is, but I'm guessing, you know, I'm understanding the different corners. So this is the courtyard, like think like late summer, and it's towards the late afternoon, and you're walking into the courtyard, and maybe you've been at work, you've been out all day, and you smell these jasmines along the wall of the courtyard. Galleria. Galleria is the huge structure where basically it's like one of the oldest malls in the world. It's what you see when you come to the Duomo, the largest square of Milan, and it's off to the side. A historic site that is very grandiose. So let's see how the fragrance smells. I'm getting citruses and violet leaves. Very citrusy opening. I get the soft aroma of coffee beans seeping through. Otherwise, it's still quite citrusy. I'll have to come back to that one. Basilica. So this is inspired by a church, the Basilica church in Milan. So I'm thinking perhaps incense. Oh, this is very sweet. That's surprising. This smells gourmand. Is this really inspired by the church? I get herbs. I get rosemary and thyme. It was very sweet to begin with, and now it's herbal. It smells kind of like sandalwoody skin-like. Interesting. This one is quite complex, but I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not sure if I want herbs with my sandalwood sweetness. It's interesting. Diurno. Daytime. Daytime in the busy city of Milan. What could that smell like? Aromatic. This one is like an aftershave type of gentleman's cologne. Definite lavender. It's becoming boozier. It actually smells like amaretto. Interesting. So a fougere that has amaretto qualities. And now we're at the last one. Naviglio, which is like my favorite neighborhood in Milan, pretty much. It's at the canals. It's hustling and bustling at nighttime. Great place to go for an aperitivo. This to me screams nighttime, although it could be Naviglio during the daytime. But lots of restaurants, lots of people, places to go, bars, and then beautiful with the canals. Okay, this is daytime Naviglio for sure. This smells like dressed up, like in a nice suit, prim and proper, daytime attire, ready for business. That's what I'm thinking. It's pretty soapy. It smells like laundry detergent, but in a good way. It's like soapy meets fougere-esque. So yeah, definitely I'm thinking suit, clean shaven, walking through the Naviglio. Probably not Naviglio today then. So cool. Well, they're all very different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the blotters for a while, and I'll come back and wrap up the video with my final thoughts. So I'm back. I went for a nice long walk, cleansed my nose. Smelling coffee is actually a gimmick, so it does not cleanse your palate. The best thing to do is to walk out in nature. That's what I've done. It's been about an hour since I let these settle, so let's see what I think about them and my final thoughts. Galleria. It has some subtle coffee to it, but it also has this irisy creaminess to it. The next one is Cortile. It's that jasmine in the courtyard. And this one is still predominantly that sweet, fresh, breezy jasmine that's approachable and easy to wear, not dramatic or anything. And then with this windswept of the aroma of coffee that we had previously in Galleria as well. So coffee is super important to Italians. They love their espresso, so it makes total sense that you would have this scent in the courtyard. As far as jasmine fragrances go, there are so many out there that personally I wouldn't need this, but you know, it's a difficult genre to be competing in because there are so many nice realistic jasmines out there. But if you're looking for one, I would definitely say that this is, you know, it's good enough. Then going back to Basilica. So this one is a lot nicer. Like this one is, that sandalwood that I was saying that I smelled before is this warm milk accord, which is so mouth-wateringly sweet and warm, but not sickly. And if you are a milky fragrance lover, you have to try this one out, because that thyme and rosemary that I was struggling with having in combination with my nice warm milk actually works really nicely here. It actually is nice and comforting, but also interesting, offset with that rosemary and thyme. Naviglio is still very, very soapy, but with this gentlemanly lavender. I'd like all my shirts to smell like this because it's just that really nice, out of a fancy lavanderia, a really nice fancy like pressing place that you could send your shirts to. It's that white t-shirt scent, and yeah, still very soapy, but kind of like vintage soapy. You know what I mean? Luxurious old school hotel vintage soapy. La Prima is osmanthus, jasmine, and orange blossom. It's sweet florals, and then with this booziness to it. It also has this so-called fur accord. So for me, this is like the ballet at night or the theater at night, and it's more the crowd because you have that, the fur coats that they're wearing, you smell the booziness of what they're drinking, and then you have the floral, which is basically the show, the dancer, the ballerina, the prima ballerina. So this one I would say is more true to, or closer to, their sister brand Musk Milano in terms of being a more bold, out there fragrance. And I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's entirely like super standout to me or anything, but it's a nice sweet floral fragrance with some sort of anchor to it. Diurno. The dry down of Diurno is lovely. It's clean, cedar, musky, with this geranium bourbon note that they've added that adds this interesting twist to it. I mean, this is definitely one that, again, would be a nice everyday gentleman-esque type of fragrance. But if you like your fragrances without a lot of sweetness and, you know, somewhat fresh and clean pressed smelling, then this one would be nice to check out as well. Brera is a very nice rose with a strong saffron to it and patchouli in the background. This is definitely, you know, again, this one is not the most original type of composition, but it's executed really well. I could imagine a lot of people who enjoy their rose oud fragrances to gravitate towards this one. This one is, it's that nice strong presence that you usually get with a saffrony rose type of fragrance. So finally, we're back to Derby, which is around the race course. So think smelling the grass, smelling the speed of the horses, that bitter geranium beginning to the fragrance, and then it softens a bit, but it still has that grassy, airy floral feel. So think definitely the classic mossy chypres. This also has a mossy base, and it's nice, but this one is another hard category to compete in. So all in all, yes, I actually enjoy the dry downs of these a lot more, and I will be wearing them as well, so let's see what happens. Of course, you should never judge a fragrance by the first 5 minutes. It is the dry down that lasts with you, that is what you end up wearing. So make sure to do that, my friends, please. And I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I will catch you in the next one. As always, please leave your recommendations for anything you'd like to see from me down below, and I will catch you later. Bye.